Good man.
All right, and we're back. And so, to the viewers watching at home, I understand that the stream was choppy. Hopefully, it'll be a little bit clearer for the second half. But if you are watching from home, the score remains 21-14 in favor of Old Blue, and Mystic really having to climb uphill here. 14 men on the field. Excuse me. Luke, from your perspective, what was that first half like?
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a half of two tales. One was Mystic River's forward pack, and the other was Old Blue's back line, to be completely honest. Look, there was some outstanding plays from certain backs in Mystic and some dominance from certain forwards at Old Blue, but all in all, it looks like it's going to be Mystic's forwards versus Old Blue's backs. And the key ingredient to winning the match, I think, is Wallace Sims' boot. If he can play territory in the right parts of the field, I do believe Old Blue will get their first win of the Rugby Championship.
Indeed. And so, just as you said, it's going to be about reading the field here. Akwe takes there. Old Blue looking to exit. Big boot by Wallace Sims. Looks like it's getting a little bit handsy down there from Mystic and Old Blue. It's going to be a big factor as the game winds on, how well Roche can be able to control some of the tempers flaring a bit around the breakdown. So she's
it looks like some handbags thrown there from number 3 for Mystic River. But definitely using Luke Watts' head as his personal punching bag. Looks like we've got a little bit of claret there from Watts, but I firmly expect number 3 here from Mystic to be shown a red card, to be honest with you.
Let's see.
I doubt it'll be a yellow with forceful
Into
contact
the
to
pocket,
the head.
she's going. And it looks like a yellow.
No red, there we go.
Given that it is his second yellow. And so now
there we
Mystic with 13 men on the field.
Things you love to see, Derek. Another person being shown a red card on the opposition.
So Mystic now really digging themselves into a hole here. 13 v 15. They don't necessarily need to practice this type of setup. They just need to keep a cool head there. And they've now really kind of created a situation for themselves just to be able to maintain, not even be able to win. So Old Blue now with all of the momentum as they cross the 50 into Mystic's half. So now Mystic's missing 2 forwards in their setup.
Yeah, I've just counted. It's definitely 13 on the field. I suppose we'll find out in about 10, 15 minutes whether they get a person back after that 20-minute period or not.
Indeed.
But yeah, so far, very interesting. 13 on 14, and soon to be 13 on. No, it's 13 on 15, isn't it? Derek?
13 on 15.
13 on 15. The 2 for the yellow at the start are back in the game now.
So Old Blue using their own maul this time. Zakwe gets it out to Jay, who now has a bit of space, who decides to keep it in this case. Had Leonard there for the offload. Quick pass from Wallace Sims.
He passes inside there to Mystic River.
Intercepted there. But they did have the front foot. They're pushing the ball offensively. You like to see it. Defensively, they just got to be able to make their tackles at this point. Mystic's not going to be able to show too much, missing 2 men on the field.
Yeah, look, they're going to have to exit territory here, as you can see from Luciano's boot.
And
Charge down there.
Quick knock around. And it looks like it's been knocked on by Mystic.
And a scrum with, 6 forwards? Should be interesting. It has been dominant, but I don't think anymore, Derek.
Indeed. And so now you have Old Blue with the chance to really push this in and keep it in the scrum if they wanted to.
Yeah, definitely. Look, I'd first thing is I'd make sure that the hooker's definitely hooking here. A lot of times now hookers don't hook because you can lose momentum. With 2 men down, I firmly do believe that what they're going to do is that they will hook with the hooker. They'll get it to the back with Manate, and then Manate needs to control the ball, and they should try and drive it in. If they're not able to assert the dominance and essentially the momentum moving forward, there are going to have at least 1 or 2 men overlap out wide as well.
Indeed. And so it's, again, controlling possession, and in this case, you have nothing to lose by hooking it, holding onto the ball, really trying to make Mystic work there. And if they do manage to hold up the scrum, there should be an overload there in your backs too, to be able to utilize those backs for Old Blue. Plenty of footwork back there between the 5-6 up.
Yeah, the other good thing is their man that got showed the card was a prop. So they've brought on their backup prop, normally not as good as your starting props. So again, that may make them regress in the front row, which will enable us to have their possession and the essentially the assertiveness moving forward.
So Old Blue with a scrum right on the 5 meter, threatening to score and increase the lead here. They're going to go ahead and keep it. Quick pass to J.E. Is it enough to push him in to the end zone? And they're going to say yes, and that's a score number 2 for Sunday J.E.
Yeah, look, great fight from Sunday there on the ground, as you can see. Look, he was definitely held up to begin with. Fighting, scrambling, looked like a fish out of water there for a few moments, but just relentless hunger to get to the ground, to get the points for Old Blue, and obviously it gives us our first 2-score lead of the match.
Indeed, and so Jay's been playing quite well defensively, and now putting a second one in offensively, having himself quite a day so far, and so now Connor Wallace-Sims with a chance to extend the lead.
Yeah, look, I think moving forward at this point, this is where we have to have the game controlled by our 9 and 10. Now, look, you don't want to always protect the lead. I don't think that's a smart way to play rugby. However, when you've got a very experienced 9 and 10 who have both played, professionally in the past, I think you need to play possession, you need to play smart. You have a 2-man overlap for the rest of the match. I think Old Blue at this point should be kicking themselves to victory.
Indeed.
To be honest with you.
So it's going to be about controlling possession, but then at the same time controlling the field position.
Exactly.
As well. And Mystics, what's their game plan at this point with 13 men?
Razzle dazzle, baby. The way I want to play. I'd want to be on the field with Mystic right now, not Old Blue. Just having chances, any half breaks. You're throwing offloads. You're looking for cross-field kicks. You're looking for space in behind. Really exciting play. This is what you want to be doing if you're them at the moment.
So after the converted kick, Old Blue set to receive yet again. 28-14 if you're just joining us. Mystic down 2 men on the field indefinitely, it looks like. Manate Akwe takes the kick. Old Blue looking to have a go now. That they notice that there are not enough men to cover everybody on the field. Knocked backwards to Sheridan. Powers
space back left, Eric. Space back left.
He decides to go again to Raymond on the wing. Showing some footwork, staying alive there. And it looks like it has been turned over to Mystic. Boots it high. Back to Wallace-Sims. Wallace-Sims decides to keep it. Chips it back over.
Space here. If they can get it to the left-hand corner. If they can get it to the left corner, there's a bit of space.
Out on the full, and he was outside the 22, so they have to take the kick from where it was. And now Old Blue's got plenty of space to start knocking on the door yet again.
Yeah, look exactly what you want to do there. Wallace-Sims getting a little bit of space, moving the ball. Obviously, the ball coming back and knock on, but then relieving the pressure with a kick, get into the kick battle. They have to kick it back. They're down by men, and Old Blue's bringing a very good defensive line. So
Indeed.
If they can continue to, just multiply over and over and again what they just done on the last couple of phases, we're halfway there already, Derek.
It looks like it's been dropped in the line out, but still retained by Old Blue there. Again, slowing the possession. Anate Okwe with the carry to Wallace-Sims to Leonard with the stiff arm and a bit of space out on the wing there. Now it's Old Blue knocking again all the space on the edge there, as you hear.
Yeah, look, if they can get it out the right here, there's plenty of space.
Quick ruck would work.
Yeah, good scramble defence there by Mystic, to be fair.
Indeed.
And a turnover by Mystic as well, Derek.
Held in the contact there. So Mystic bailing themselves out. Mystic to take the penalty kick. It looks like it's going to stay in potentially. It hits out, but it looks like Manate Akwe now has the space after Naposki was able to throw it right back in. Old Blue is losing the battle in the ruck with some of these contacts. They have to be able to be a little bit stronger in the contact before they hit the deck. Mystic is looking to overturn some of these rucks.
Yeah, look, we said it. Their forwards are still strong. They've only got 6 of them. They've got six strong ones. So you've got to stay composed.
It might just be staying up in the contact until somebody tells you to go down, or really just fighting on the ground to really position that ball away from their defense back into the hands of your own 9.
Yeah, for all our viewers at home, we have an old saying, ask to pass. So you want to fall the way of where the ball has come from. You don't want to fall, the other way on the inside, because they've got an easy angle to poach the ball. Whereas if you go ask to pass and you go away, it's further for them to get over. So Old Blue has to be, placing the ball in the right areas.
So Mystic, again, trying to just take some stabs deep into Old Blue territory, given that they're down men. So just as Luke said before, Razzle Dazzle might be able to keep them just in this game close enough. See if they might be able to get the ball to swing their way, potentially.
Yeah, look, at the moment, I think Mystic's doing everything they can. I think they're trying to create attacking chances everywhere in the field.
Indeed.
I think that's the only thing they can do at this point. Down 2 men, you got your backup prop on as well. Doesn't look like he's in the best condition for an extra 40 minutes of rugby. So, look, it's going to take its toll.
Whether he wants to or not, he's out there. And so after the kick by Aguirre, Mystic now, what looks to be on the 40-yard line.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to have any balls left. I think that's about 3 in the drink already at this point. So.
And who knows what lives out in the woods back there.
Oh, definitely a few crocodiles.
Wouldn't be Pelham without it.
Might find a few Harley Davidsons in there too, Derek. you never know.
You are not pulling me into this inevitable lawsuit that's coming my way.
You never know. By the way, my name is Stephen Satadari. If you want to complain to Old Blue, Steve Satadari, ladies and gentlemen.
So Mystic line out, keeps it into their own centers here. Mystic again just needing to just find a platform to work off of. So they're using their forwards here just to kind of set up something for their backs to be able to do a little bit more. Another kick here. It looks like it's going to go straight out. Careful there. Preventing him to be able to throw back in the ball could cost them another penalty if he's not careful.
Yeah, look, a well-placed kick again by Mystic. Took a few extra hops, but look, they're trying. They're trying at every passage. They've got to keep. If they keep up, with this intensity, they'll score points in this second half.
I think they'll get a chance.
It's Old Blue's game to lose at this point.
So big break now. That's Cassidy with space, looking for somebody, but couldn't find anybody to offload to. Looks like he's going to also make the tackle there.
Absolute horrible offload there by
himself.
Trevor. Unbelievable run. There. Yeah, could have backed himself. I was going to say could have put a kick into the corner, but don't know if I want to see Trevor trying to kick into the corner. But just hold the ball. Look, if you don't have the, your opposition, if you don't have the offload, if you don't have the support there right next to you, and it's not on, then it's not on, Derek.
Just hold the ball. Call your own number.
Hold the ball. Move to the next phase. Move to the next phase. Compound pile on the pressure.
Indeed. So just as you said before, just being able to ball possession, field control. Those two things will easily lead Old Blue for the first W. So now Mystic, after the penalty, gets a chance to take another crack at it.
Yeah, and Mystic not making any mistakes is what's going to help them in this match. You know, they have to be clinical whilst taking calculated risks. They have to be clinical in their approach. If they give silly penalties, if they give loose ball away, they're just going to kill themselves.
Indeed. So Mystic throw in. To the backs it goes. Another kick. Doesn't look to be on the right part of the foot for him. Knocked it back. Giving him a little bit of field position there after the knockback. Not taking it in the air. So now Mystic with another chance at a line out.
Yeah, intentional tap back there from Raymond. Obviously wanting to make sure that the ball stays alive and thinking that he had support there that he didn't. Look, at the end of the day, if the ball's up there and you can get one hand to it, try and get two.
Yeah.
You know, unless it's clearly on or you're going for a tap back and you know you've got defensive people behind you, just catch the ball.
So after the ball's been knocked out of play, Mystic again. Orient in. A little too early on the jump there. But it seems like he faked it there, and so now Old Blue with the short arm penalty has to take the tap. Hits up a J, calls his own number, holds on to it. Across the 50 we go. What a pass. And Aguirre to Naposki, who's got plenty of space, and in for the try. Naposki with the score there, extending the lead for Old Blue now.
Yeah, it all came from quick hands. Wallace Sims, quick hands, nice little tip on there from Leonard. Down to JP, strong carry down the short side as you'd see, got his left hand fend out. Naposki moves inside for support, and the number one draft pick, you know, does the rest.
Future Dallas Jackal himself, and I'm sure any Dallas fans watching at home knows what they're about to get coming their way for the MLR season up ahead.
Yeah, look, he was moving more like a gazelle than a jackal there down the sideline to get those points down there. But he's definitely got the head of a jackal, I'll tell you that much. So no worries for the man on the nightlife there down in Dallas. But unbelievable score and really well played.
I'm going to let him take that up with you once he sees the stream later. So Wallace Sims to take the kick, extending the lead potentially. Kick is up, and it finds the inside of the uprights for an extra two. So the score now 35-14 as Old Blue continues to pile on the points. And you can see it starting to relax the Old Blue side a little bit, but they always have to be conscious of how they're playing their game while Mystic's still on the field.
Yeah, a little bit of niggle here from some Mystic supporters down on the sideline here too, trying to get into the heads of the Old Blue players at the moment. But look, the mental resolve, 35 points to 14 up by 3 converted tries. Obviously, Old Blue completely in control of this match at this point. Mystic has showed up. They're here to play, but
they decided to go short. And it was enough for Luciano to recover. So Mystic using that razzle-dazzle to try and keep the ball wherever they can. Strong contact there from Old Blue. Bit of a double pump there to find the wing, offload.
Yeah, great defense there by Mike Sinclair. As you can see, Milkshake Mike's now onto the pitch on the left wing for Old Blue.
Yep, plenty of experience over there for him too.
Once
Strong
again,
player.
Solid defense by
Excellent
Milkshake
work.
Mike Sinclair.
So Sinclair with the push out. Old Blue now with the chance for possession. Again, possession, field control, two big components of this, but they can now start to press it a little bit for Mystic. They're tired. Mystic's tired. Definitely needing to work overtime here now that they only have 13 men on the field.
Yeah, look, Derek, you've played with Mike Sinclair for many of years. What's his best position? Is it center? Is it wing?
Well, and that's a really great question. For me, at least, I think he's better suited in the centers, but his great footwork allows him to get there on the wing. I do think a little bit of his aerial work could could be something that could be improved upon, but for his size, it's not something you want to face out on the sidelines. He is going to be a force regardless defensively for him. And so now, looks like it couldn't be played.
Yeah, you can see the work from Mike Sinclair there, as you can see him now making his way back to left wing, all the way over on the right-hand side of the field. I agree with you as well. I think center's his best spot. I'd like to see him starting at center, actually, with Sundai coming off the bench with impact. I think he offers a real physical and aggressive presence to bring in. I'd love to see Mike Sinclair get a look in at the starting 13 jersey. Maybe you can move Sonny out to the wing as well, or Sonny, I know, can play a bit of 15. But JP obviously has been brilliant at the back today as well. So I think Old Blue definitely has options, especially if you're bringing Mike Sinclair, former MLR player for Rugby United, off the bench for Old Blue. You must have a strong backline.
Yeah, and versatility is kind of the key there. You were pointing out a lot of these players can play multiple positions, and so it gives Dominic Waring, the head coach, a chance to kind of look at different looks for a few of these games. And so for somebody like Sunday, who is an extreme defensive force, depending on where you put him, he could be a real asset for a team. But at the same time, I agree, getting Mike Sinclair some reps could potentially be a benefit for him later down the line. Old Blue with a chance to strike, but a couple knock-ons negates it a little bit there. And so they're going to call that knock-on there first for anything else.
Yeah, great again. Great little passage of play there. You had a little run around. You had Wallace Sims hitting Sonny. Then you had Wallace Sims shaping around the back of Will Leonard there. Obviously, Will Leonard, big body, very experienced, so he's going to attract the defenders. And then you had Naposki sweeping around from the short side, blindside wing. Unfortunately, Eric made some good inroads there, and he's just pushing that next pass. Once again, patience, recycle the ball.
Calling your own number.
Mount the pressure. But look, some great passages of play there from Old Blue. Yeah, we just need to be patient with the pill and recycle for the next phase and look to score points next, third, fourth, fifth phase, as opposed to one and done.
Exactly. You can trust your set piece, but at the same time, trust your patience too to be able to move the ball up the field. So Adnan Haroma, solid stiff arm to give them a little bit of space. Off the head of Mystic, knocked backwards, but that's going to be a knock-on first.
Yeah, look, he had a little bow peep there before he had the ball in his hands. It's the one thing that Mystic cannot do, considering where they're at in this stage of the match.
And I think that's a testament to Old Blue's defense as well. They've been coming off the ball all day, and it's really kind of frustrating from Mystic's perspective when you have somebody in your face about 2 seconds after you've gotten the ball out of the scrum there.
Yeah, look, I don't see this playing out any different, even with 15 men on the field. I think Old Blue started to pick up their forward pack. They started to meet in the middle with Mystic. They were still a little bit more dominant, but Old Blue backs have been sensational from the word go, and nothing's changed in the second half. So I don't see any difference even with the men on the field. Short side here.
So we got a short side play here with McManus calling his own number here to Vaka Sisi Kakala, who manages to stay in bounds. Out the back, quick hands again. Ajay with
space here, Derek, space here.
Leonard now with the offload. St. Clair with the strength. Is it enough, though? Again, knocking on the front door here.
Old Blue just need to be patient here, Derek. Patience. They've got numbers, patience. As you can see, Sundai's calling for the ball out here with an overlap on the right-hand side if they're able to move it. And it doesn't look like it's needed there, Derek. A try to Old Blue in the forwards.
Give it a try there as the forwards find their way into the end zone. Now we're looking at a potential blowout, as the score now is 40-14 with the kick to come. There's still about 15 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, it's always going to be extremely difficult when you're Mystic River and you're down to 13 men. Look, they can hold their heads high. They've done well I still think they can push for a few points on the back end here, but look, at the end of the day, it's one-way traffic with Old Blue clearly being the better team. Whether or not it may be due to the fact they've got 2 extra men on the field, they're making the most of their opportunities. They're executing at the end of their opportunities and their line breaks, and it's really good to see. Yeah,
and silently, Connor Wallace-Sims has made all of his kicks. Execution really kind of seems to be on their side right now, but at the same time, this is the team you want to see show up against Life. This is the team you want to see show up against Nyack as well. And they'll get their shot later on in the season, but these are the kind of games that you end up reflecting back on and say, what went right, and how can we replicate that in Tuesday and Thursday practices going forward?
Yeah, look, I don't think Mystic has anything to panic about, to be honest with you, from what I've seen. I really don't. I think Old Blue had 2 poor showings to start the championship. They've played definitely better today, and they've capitalised. And they're big players like Monate, who's just had a strong carry there, have stepped up when needed.
Yeah. So now Old Blue having a go at it. I have to tip my hat to Mystic, still showing the aggression despite the fact there are 2 men off the field for them, but they're still holding their own there, especially around the ruck. So Leonard looking to keep the ball free. Naposki, a little bit of magic work there from Leonard. Jakar Williams coming off the bench now, has a carry of his own. So a quick chip over the top, and it just gets over the top of Leonard, but into the hands of Wallace-Sims and onto St. Clair. Into Mystic territory now. And again, Mystic dominating that ruck. They're going to...
While we have Mystic here kicking for touch, we'd like to thank our Old Blue sponsors for today's match. USATC. If you ever need to get in tip-top shape or you ever have any injuries that need to be taken care of, go down to USATC and see Gary Guerrero. V-Brick, one of our major sponsors by one of our beautiful donors and founding partners, and Mr. Murphy. We also have Fort Washington Pub House, where all your beers can come to your desires. And I believe that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Is there anyone else that we're missing there, Derek?
No, I think you got them all right there. All 3 of them.
And of course, our kit sponsor, Paladin. If you're looking for gear, they've got all the idea. So thank you for Paladin as well.
They're eventually going to pull you in for a quick TV spot. They have the chance. So now Mystic now threatening after the line out. Quick chip over the top. And it looks like it's a little bit too hard of a kick for Mystic. Old Blue now with the chance to get out of their own end. The weather's also been quite literally perfect. And there was another sponsor that we missed, supplanted right across the chest of Old Blue, Tradeview as well. Big thank you to our sponsors that continue to support Old Blue day in and day out. We're getting a chance to see some great rugby being played now as Old Blue's trying to get out of their own end. And it looks like it's been brought in by Old Blue, considered a maul. Again, keeping a cool head. Can't get too scrappy here.
There we go. And the boys are back with their pink purses on and throwing a few handbags, things you love to see.
I'm more than certain that if Luke Hume was on the field, we would have seen already a fight break out, regardless of the score.
I probably wish would have pushed to start and then let everyone else throw the punches. But no, I don't mind throwing a few handbags myself back in my day when I was playing. But much rather be on the sideline in the commentary box with you, Derek.
Now you're a family man. You know you got to set a good example.
That's it.
So Mystic ball after the call here. Getting a chance again to threaten. Well, you have a back line like this one for Mystic. Doesn't necessarily have too many speedsters there. How do you kind of move this Old Blue team around to kind of create some space, especially if you're down a few men.
Well, look, if you're Mystic, you have to go to the right-hand side. You should be able to get an overlap by having Mitch Wilson in the boot here. So you'll have the 10, marker 10, then you'll have a 12 coming down and the fullback out the back. Now, what you're seeing is Old Blue have stacked that side with 4 defenders. So at best, you're going to get a 4-on-4. So if they're smart, they're going to come down the short side. The 9 will come with Naposki. You need your 8 to break off, and Wallace Sims needs to work his way over as well as a 10.
So they don't get the chance to, because Old Blue proved too strong there in the scrum, given that Mystic only has 6 men in the scrum. So Old Blue with the penalty, and now with a great chance to get out of their own end and create a little bit more of their brilliant gameplay we've gotten a chance to see today. So JP with the kick. Crosses into Mystic territory.
Yeah, great touch finder there from JP. Much better than his clearing kick earlier on in the day where it looked like he had a wooden leg. But yeah, good clearance kick there. Obviously Old Blue back into their own attacking zone now, threatening Mystic River around their halfway line.
If I were Old Blue, this would be the time I'd want to empty the bench and make sure some of those younger players get a chance to experience what the gameplay is like. So Baka Sisi Kakala with the strong carry, but again, Mystics right on top of the ball. Being stronger to the breakdown.
If they're able to cycle it out this way, Derek, there's a lot of space here to the right-hand side.
Can see a lot for him, but it's been turned over in that ruck. That ruck defense is probably going to be a thorn in the side on Tuesdays and Thursdays for Waring to be able to pay attention to. So a quick chip over the top to St. Clair. Wallace Sims using some of the footwork. Mystic still fighting in the ruck there. It looks like nothing could be made of it, but still Old Blue ball. So Mystic being able to slow down the ball a little bit, which actually, if they had all 15 men on the field, probably would be talking about a slightly different game right now.
Yeah, look, I think we'd be speaking about a different game. I think there'd be similar points scored in regards to what Old Blue has scored, but Mystic would have a lot more points on the board, and I think it'd be a tight game, to be honest with you. However, you know, you got to make the most of the opportunities that are given to you, and Old Blue's definitely done that. Mystic, look, they've tried. They've been relentless in trying to score points or make the most of small opportunities.
Nothing doing.
But yeah, look, with 13 men on the field and Old Blue presenting a strong defensive line, a strong defensive unit, they don't even look like they're going to be able to score points.
Bit too much. So Naposki now with some space, puts on the footwork, trying to stay alive here. Old Blue now threatening. Given advantage for not releasing in the ruck. It looks like Wallace Sims.
I think we're going to see another card here,
Maybe
Derek.
Another card.
Could be down
after
to 12.
The late hit. And it looks like Naposki's still on the ground
the
after
big
the
fella
tackle.
actually ate him for dinner. Yeah, look, there wasn't too much in it. It was a little bit late hit. He didn't completely follow through with it. So, look, he's staying on the pitch at the moment. I think the referee probably feels a little bit of sympathy for them at the moment. Already been
Send another one off, and we're just looking at a completely different game altogether. Might have to move to 10s after this.
Looks like we might have a little injury here to Naposki as well, who looks like to be limping off to the sideline.
Indeed. So we'll take a look at that. Just earlier, Old Blue putting 3 more of their subs onto the field. Braithwaite being one of them. Excellent new player into the mix for Old Blue. So
yeah, look, I think they've used all their subs as well. Coach Waring, I think, has used all his subs a little bit too early, and they're not able to actually replace him by the look of things.
Could we be facing a 14v13 situation just due to the injury?
Yeah, correct. We definitely are.
So Old Blue ball as they continue to knock on the door for Mystic. Good opportunity to kind of see how they're going to play with this new setup. They're missing a wing as Naposki gets checked out. Likely done for the day, just given. Roughly about 7 minutes left in the half.
Yeah, 13 versus 14 for the last 7 minutes. So let's see. We'll get an opportunity here to see if it's going to be a little bit closer with one extra player on the pitch.
So Quay almost getting it in there. Unfortunate as he slips. McManus slipped. And they're going to play the knock-on from Mystic. So Old Blues ball again.
Yeah, I think actually that's Ryan Manning. Ryan Manning's on.
Oh, Ryan Manning.
For Connor McManus, yeah.
Right.
So Old Blue definitely playing with 14 men for the rest of the match due to the slight injury there of Naposki. Nothing to worry about. He walked himself off the pitch. But yes, still, you want to be nurturing them. We've obviously got a few more games. I think there's another 3 or 4 games left in the season.
Easily.
So we want to make sure they're obviously fresh.
Yeah.
Correct. So where are we next week, Derek?
So White Plains next week for Old Blue, as easily it looks like they're going to be able to take their first W of the season. It looks like Old Blue managed to lose the scrum there.
How's White Plains been going in the championship?
Manages to stay in there. Wallace Sims manages to take, holds on to it, and it looks like Mystic's ball. And they might go quick. They decided not to. But to answer your question, Mystic has also been having a hard go of things as they try to figure out who they are as a new ARP team. First real season playing D1 with this new setup. Andrew Britt coaching that team. I'm sure that this team is also watching Old Blue, trying to be able to watch a bit of tape before they play them next week. And, you know, for White Plains, it's really about injuries. It's really about being able to keep those guys healthy. They have a great handful of playmakers, but they got to be able to keep them healthy as well.
So at the moment, it's looking like a 2-horse race between Nyack and Life University then. Can Old Blue make up ground? Can they be a threat towards the back end of the season, or is it too far gone losing their first 2 matches?
I do think that they might have a chance, but they're going to have to get some wind to blow their way a little bit with a Life or Nyack loss. And so they're going to call offsides here on Old Blue. So Mystic now with another chance to put themselves down the field just a little bit. But as we talk about it, I do think that there could be a chance to sniff out a bit of Life, but they do need a bit of a break between Life or Nyack. And a loss has to come from one of them, but it would be helpful. Which it
obviously will when they play each other. And then if we can get our L back as a W, that then will put... It'll put one of them with 3 losses and us with 2, but essentially we have to be beating Nyack in Life. And I believe you were at the first game with Nyack, correct? So what was the circumstances there for the viewers at home watching the match? What can Old Blue expect in the next tough encounter with Nyack in the season?
Well, with their first encounter, Old Blue really couldn't capitalize off of the many chances given when they were in the red zone. And so what ended up being a very close game could have actually been a blowout in favor of Old Blue if they were able to execute. And so Nyack just managed to hold off with their defense just enough, but Old Blue just needed to be able to punch it in. Again, staying patient, of course, with their gameplay, but it wasn't enough, all things considered.
Yeah, and for those at home who missed 2 weeks ago the match against Life University, just compounding too many errors, not capitalising on their mistakes, and really doubling down on our own. We'd score a try, we'd knock on the kickoff. They'd knock a ball on, we'd knock it on 2 minutes later. So, you've got to make the most of opportunities. The game was blown out, but it was a lot closer for the viewers that had the pleasure of watching. A lot closer than the scoreline predicted. But I definitely think it's a winnable game, but there are a few things they're going to have to change, and it looks like positive steps in the right direction considering this showing compared to 2 weeks ago.
Very, very true. And the Mystics got a pretty strong side themselves, and I'm sure they want to be able to remain in this setup as they won against White Plains just last week. So Mystic holding onto the ball. They got possession right now. They just need stability. Taking it in a little bit further. Double pump, nothing doing.
Yeah, great defense there from Old Blue. He had no options there. Once again, double pump, no options, because a stifling defense from Old Blue.
Indeed. So making a lot of double tackles here. I know they practice that throughout the week. One going low, one going high, and that's caused quite a bit of a turnover, and so they've got a bit of space now. Jaquar Williams tries to take it up himself, but it is taken away from him, but they're going to go ahead and play the knock-on first.
Yeah, one thing that I can notice from the grandstands, and you obviously won't be able to hear the audio at home, we're probably into the last play of the game at this point, is you can hear Old Blue's defense. You can hear the Old Blue players scrambling, pointing, connecting, telling people where they want to go, where they need to be. For the second half of this match, we haven't really heard a peep out of Mystic River when they're on attack or defense.
Not at all, yeah.
They haven't scored any points in the second half. They haven't looked like scoring points in the second half. But I think the two red cards, their body language is down, their confidence is down, and it's actually showing in their talk and their body language out on the pitch.
Indeed. So short arm penalty due to pushing early from Old Blue. And so now Mystic to tap and go to Ibanez. Strong runner. Old Blue's going to have to shore up this defense. I think it's a bit of pride right now to keep Mystic from scoring, given that they have 13 men on the field. So Old Blue's going to have to back their defense for the next few minutes, as the kick doesn't find anywhere other than the ground. Going on same way. This is where Old Blue can apply a bit of pressure coming off that sideline. Given in by Mystic. Decides to go back to the sideline there. Risky move, so close to the sideline. Again, Mystic trying to use the quick ruck to keep Old Blue on the back foot, keep them from getting set. You can hear it from the sidelines. They want them in three-point stances as they are close to that ruck. Make those strong tackles, and it looks like Mystic's going to be able to get at least one score in the half.
Yeah, look, well done, and that's a credit there to Mystic River, who's been fighting and working hard all day. They've played well in the second half, down a few men, and there's the fruits of their labour coming in a try at the end of the match.
So Mystic manages to make the kick, but not before the game is over. So the final score, 42-21. Old Blue rolling into next week. Many takeaways there. What are some big takeaways on your half, Luke, that you think that they can roll into next week with?
Yeah, look, I think a big thing for Old Blue there is they weren't compounding as many mistakes as they have been in the previous 2 weeks. Some really good attacking flair. They were missing Will Leonard and JP Aguirre in the last match. Thought Will Leonard was his stock standard self, strong ball carries, and JP was sensational at fullback today. He did have one shank, but besides that, he was phenomenal. And I thought Mike Sinclair coming off the bench made a really good impact.
Indeed.
I think they just need to continue to do more of the same, get more reps with each other, and the fleet-footed Wallace Sims and Naposki, if you get those two into space, you can see what damage they can do.
Indeed, and if you're Mystic, what do you take away from this game?
Look, it's a tough one, right? You lost 42-21. It's double the score. It's 3 tries. Old Blue scored 3 tries in the second half. Mystic scored 1. Is it a different circumstance? Is it a different outcome if you've got 2 extra players on the field? 100%. Does it change if they're going to win or lose? I don't know. Would it be a much closer match? It definitely would be. So, look, I think you can't take too much away from Old Blue. They capitalised. Mystic just has to be more disciplined. If they don't make those mistakes, they're in with a shot both at this game and setting their season off on the right foot.
Indeed. And so Old Blue now moves to 1-2 as they go off against White Plains in a very winnable match. And as you can see here, being able to say thanks to the fans too. And so thanks so much for the viewers at home that have stuck with us. Luke, it has been an honor to be able to share the booth with you. And we'll be able to see you again hopefully next week as we kick off against White Plains in the afternoon.
No, very good. Thank you for your time, Derek. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to seeing you next week. And to all our viewers at home, thank you for watching in, and we'll see you shortly.
All right. So enjoy your nights, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a wrap on our end. Thank you.